Bonjour à toutes et à tous et bienvenue sur Blabla Katie. Last week we talked about how you can practice speaking French when you're by yourself, and this week we're focusing on how to practice French listening by yourself. Like I said in last week's video, these exercises and methods are not meant to be replacing activities where you can practice with other French speakers. This is just meant to supplement them because sometimes you just don't have somebody else to practice with, or if you're like me, sometimes you just don't really want to talk to other people. So whatever the case may be, if you are practicing French comprehension by yourself, these are the tips and activities that I would recommend doing and that I use myself. First, find something that interests you. This kind of sounds like a no-brainer, but you're obviously going to be more motivated to listen if you're watching something that actually is interesting to you. And that'll really help you out when you're trying to actively listen, which is one of the most important things when it comes to improving your French comprehension, and it's something we'll talk about a little later in the video. So sometimes, depending on what day it is or what time of day it is, I feel like watching a travel vlogger, or I want to watch a baking show, or maybe reality TV. Obviously, we are complex individuals. We're going to have a bunch of different preferences and interests, but whatever it is that I'm feeling that day, I will look for it in French. And this could mean one of two things. So number one, if you wake up one day and you're like, oh, I really want to watch my most favorite movie that I've seen a million times, watch it in French. A lot of times you can change the audio of movies and TV shows that you've already seen in English, and you can change that to French and probably a bunch of other different languages as well. And you can also use subtitles to make sure that you're actually understanding what's going on. Now, the thing that can be difficult with subtitles, if you're watching something that's not originally in French, and sometimes even if it is originally in French, the subtitles aren't always going to be 100%. And I've said in the past that this is specifically a problem with Netflix. I don't know what it is, but from the French series that I've watched, the subtitles almost never match up to what they're actually saying. So I don't know. But the beauty is, if you're watching something that you've already seen a bunch of times and that is one of your classic favorites, then you already know what's happening with the plot. So that way you can really just focus on the French that is being spoken. Something that I used to do, especially when I had more intermediate French skills, I would watch all the Harry Potter movies, but I would switch them into French audio. And I did start out with English subtitles, but I realized that I pretty much already knew what was going to happen by heart. So then I started using French subtitles. And even though they weren't always accurate, that was very helpful. If I maybe didn't catch what somebody was saying, I could at least get the gist of it from the subtitles. The second option that you have is just finding materials that are originally in French. So for example, I love the Netflix series Plan Cœur. If you have not heard of it yet, it's called The Hookup Plan in English. Definitely check it out. And something else that I really like doing is watching French-speaking YouTubers. As of now, I am watching a lot of videos from Daring Tia, It's Crazy Sally, and I want to say it's Anastasia. I never know how to pronounce that. So the reason why I like watching these three YouTubers is because I'm interested in what they're actually saying. I'm engaged in the topics that they're going over. So yes, the whole point of watching them is to get better at French, but I'm also super interested in what it is that they're saying. And the way that they're saying it is natural to them. So what I mean is they're using all their little filler words. They're speaking the way that you would actually hear somebody talk. I'm always looking for more series and more YouTubers to follow who are speaking French. So if you have any go-to film, series, YouTubers to practice your French comprehension, let me know in the comments so I can check them out. The reason why I'm always looking for more materials to use for French comprehension practice is because it is very important to vary the materials and the people that you are watching or listening to. If you're only listening to one French YouTuber and you consistently listen to them every single day, you're going to progress in understanding that one person and maybe the few topics that they discuss. But their accent or their pace or the common phrases that they specifically like using aren't going to be universal. They could be completely different from another native French speaker, and the only way to get used to the different speeds and accents and anything else to do with the French language is by listening to a bunch of different speakers. And this also extends to the actual materials that you're watching. So for example, if you're only watching the news, and again, you're watching it every single day, you're going to get really good at being able to listen to and understand the news, but then you're kind of missing out on the more conversational and spontaneous aspects of the French language as it's actually spoken by people on a day-to-day basis. So definitely make sure that you're switching up the different types of things that you're watching and the people that you're listening to. But whatever it is that you're using for French comprehension, it's not going to matter if you are not using active listening skills. This is one of the most important things when it comes to actually progressing with understanding French. So active listening is exactly what it sounds like. It means that you're concentrated on what you're hearing and you're not just kind of playing it in the background. It's the difference between hearing something and listening to it. So for example, if you walk down the street and you hear somebody speaking French, knowing that that is the French language means that you're hearing hearing French sounds. But then if you can hone in and actually figure out what it is they're talking about, what emotion they have, if they're angry, sad, happy, that's actually listening. It is intentional. Even when you're trying to actively listen, it can be really easy to just zone out. So what I do to make sure that I'm staying concentrated and making sure that I'm getting the most out of my comprehension activities, I do what I have called the stop and go method. Whatever it is that I'm watching or listening to, I'll only play it for a couple of minutes at the normal speed. And then if I've understood everything and I feel confident in what I've heard, I will continue on to the next chunk of 3 to 5 minutes. If there's something that I don't understand, I stop and I rewind. I slow down the speed of the video if I can and if that'll help me. And I definitely make use of the subtitles if they're accurate. Since I'm at a very advanced level of French, I only ever use French subtitles. But if you're just starting out, I think it's totally fine to be using English subtitles, especially because sometimes, like I was saying before, the subtitles themselves aren't always going to be accurate. And so if you're listening to a foreign language that you're not familiar with, and then you're looking at subtitles that don't match up to that, that could do a little more harm than help. The use of subtitles really will depend on the level that you're at. So after stopping, rewinding, and slowing down the speed of the video in order to understand what was said, I write down anything that was giving me trouble, and for the rest of the clips that I'm watching, I will try to be super careful about listening for whatever it was that was giving me issues. And it's not always guaranteed that what's giving you a problem is going to come up, but it's just another way to sort of stay on your toes and make sure that you are actively listening. So to recap on the stop-go method, you will definitely want to make use of smaller chunks of whatever it is that you're watching or listening to, slowing down the speed, using subtitles, and writing things down, whether that's in a notebook, on your phone, on your laptop, whatever it is, just make sure you are writing it down. And while the stop-go method is super helpful for training your ears and making sure you get every single thing that's going on in the video or the podcast, whatever it is, it's not always going to be the most effective when it comes to real life situations. Speaking of being effective and helpful, if at any point you have found this video to be useful for you, please do give it a thumbs up. Not only would this make me super happy, but your likes give this video a better chance of spreading to other people and helping them as well. Now back to the stop-go method. The reason why this is not always super helpful with real life situations is because while you should definitely not be afraid to ask people to repeat themselves or to slow down, there are going to be certain contexts where you just might not have the opportunity to ask someone to do that. For example, if you're in a group of people and there's one person presenting to you, or if you're at a show or something like that. So in this case, I have a different activity that I try to practice, which I have personally called the majority method. The reason why it's called the majority method is because the point is to understand the majority of what's going on, the gist, and not necessarily to understand every single word that was said. This still entails active listening, but I'm not rewinding nearly as much as during the stop and go method. So normally I'll listen to a larger section of a video, like 5 to 10 minutes, and once I hit that time limit, I stop whatever I'm watching and then I try to explain to myself what I just saw, what the main topic is. If I'm struggling with anything, then I'll go back and rewatch it and maybe use methods that are closer to the stop-go exercise. But if I understand the gist, I'll just keep going. Once I'm done with the whole clip, for example, the whole episode on Netflix, I'll then take a little bit of time, try to go over my notes, and then at some point I'll rewatch the whole episode, but without stopping. At this point, I'll have all of the main ideas in my head, I'll have the main gist of what's going on, and then if I want to, I can figure out a little more of the details that I might have missed the first time around. So I would say that the stop-go method and the majority method are both super effective in their own ways, but they're going to look different depending on your level. This brings me to my next point, which is that you should be doing these exercises and anything else that you find helpful when you're practicing French comprehension in a way that is doable, but increasingly challenging. For example, if you're watching a series that you've already seen several times and you've changed the audio to French, maybe you'll start out with English subtitles and then eventually you can work up to changing that to French subtitles and then moving on to another series that was French in the first place. Or if you're more advanced and you're watching a French series with French subtitles, you could eventually work your way up to not using subtitles at all, or maybe to just listening to a podcast, and in this case you wouldn't have any subtitles and you wouldn't be able to see the way people's mouths are moving, so it's really just relying on your ears. Everybody's progress is going to look different, so the most important thing is being able to track that progress. What I personally like doing is setting weekly goals and then breaking up my week in order to reach that weekly goal. For example, you could just say, by the end of this week, I'm going to be able to listen to this specific video at normal speed. So I'm going to work my way up from half the speed, so something that's much slower, all the way up to the normal speed. Or your goal could have to do with listening to something longer and practicing the active listening skills for a longer amount of time. If one week you're only able to listen to 10 full minutes of a podcast, the next week your goal can be listening to 20 or 30 minutes minutes of it. The main goal here is always just progress. And this is something I talk about a lot in my video on how to be more confident speaking French. But your progress also doesn't have to be a dramatic transformation. You really just have to focus on moving more and more towards native French speakers who are speaking at their normal speed. That's all you're trying to do, is move closer and closer and closer to those goals. As I said in the beginning of this video, all of these exercises and methods are not meant to replace practicing French comprehension with other speakers. So if and when you do want to practice these skills with other people, I highly recommend finding a French teacher on Italki. I've talked about Italki in several of my other videos, so I'll be brief, but this is where I found my own French teacher, and we have personalized sessions where we just practice French conversation. This gives me a lot of practice using active listening skills with a native French speaker, and of course it helps with my speaking skills as well. There are so many different teachers available on Italki, and they offer different skill sets, different prices, different schedules, so you really can find someone who fits your every single need. And the last thing about Italki is that if you're interested in signing up, I do have a link in the description box. If you use said link, you'll be able to get $10 of Italki credit that you can put towards a lesson after you make your first purchase on Italki. So definitely use that link to sign up if you want to take advantage of the $10. And I think that's it for French comprehension. So please let me know in the comments if this was useful, and à la prochaine!